black. Can't someone just bring like some Sunday morning? Can someone just see that this needs to be?
So I just emailed you guys a link to this, to what I'm doing right now.
Oh, but I lost power. Okay.
So you can actually see what it looks like on your phone. Now again,
On your phone.
what we're trying to do here is demonstrate not the composition of the
Yes.
frame, you know, that,
Right.
that how you would get. What I'm doing is this goes to, this is if you look over here, this is the YouTube control panel, basically, that it's where you kind of run the stream from. And, you know, you can do comments, if you can turn the comments off, things like that. So right now, this is the device.
Have you used YouTube?
No, okay, because I have done that.
Okay.
So this is my control center. So I have connection to this little device here.
So, oops, excuse me.
And that's just telling, that's where I set the settings so I can say, okay, now this is how I'm pushing it up. And then there is YouTube, which is how it's receiving it. And then you control analytics.
I mean, that actually doesn't look awful. Like, if that's all we had, that would work.
Well, and we can certainly do a better
But we have a
camera
mic.
position.
But viewing a static image is one thing. It's
Well, yeah.
how well does it handle the motion? We have stutters and drops.
Right, well, and you won't. I mean, if you want to, like I said, it's about 30 seconds
I would
delayed.
Hook it on a mic stand and do, I have this too.
Yeah, we have tripods and stuff, but I mean,
But
those
for
are
when you guys
minor-
are not here and
Those
we're
are
doing
minor
it.
things.
Yep.
I mean,
The
you know,
tripods are not that expensive.
yeah. There are a lot of little details that are easy to come by. The big details are, okay, yes, you want to do that. Probably Sling Studio is a good alternative for you. I mean, you can do it through laptops, but you know, these things just make it so much easier. Let's see.
Yeah, a laptop by itself probably
What's that?
sets you back $800.
Yeah. I mean, you know, by the time you get a laptop, you know, and something
you can
you might as
repurpose, it's
well.
one thing, but if you-
Yeah, and likely you will not have one that is repurposable. Probably is not appropriate for this type of stuff.
But if somebody in the congregation has a really great laptop, you wouldn't want them to come.
it gets complicated unless they're willing to donate it.
But if you're only using it for that 1 hour, is what I mean.
Yeah, but then there's always
But then
the
you'd need to
logistics.
want to have it all every time. So
The logistics of making sure it's there every time.
It has to be the same computer every time?
No, well,
it.
if it's a different computer, you have to set up the other computer, and then you have more chance of something going wrong.
Right, exactly.
Once you have it set up, you prefer someone really doesn't touch the computer and do something
I
with
see.
it. You know,
Okay. Yeah,
install
that makes
some other
sense.
software, you think it's benign, but then it
Okay.
updates some driver that you weren't expecting, and suddenly,
Okay.
So the Sling Studio is $9.99 from B&H, just the studio. The 1745 includes a battery pack and a couple other accessories, which you really probably don't need. However, for $13.48, there's a Sling Studio with a camera hub, and then the expander. So I mean, you're probably looking at about $1,400. Would give you 2 cameras, plus any additional, you know, iPods and you know, if you have an iPad you would need an iPad or a Mac to do the production end of it. But you know, you can use additional phones and connect to it and use them as production. You know, I mean, if you wanted to set your phone up there with, and so they'd have a look right up your nostrils type of thing, or you know, if you wanted to set your phone on the piano type of thing, where you know, you could add those views. And
Right, so if I had my camera over at the piano to catch Brian and me and the piano, then we
yeah,
could do that.
and if you found that you were using things consistently, I mean, there's no problem in doing stuff like that. You know, I mean, this sets you up with
How many things fit into the hub?
one thing fits into the hub.
How many cameras go into the hub?
You can have up to four or five cameras, but they don't go into the hub. That's the beauty of this thing, is it's
Wireless.
its own Wi-Fi. Now, sync is, that's a question that I'm not entirely sure of, but you know, how well they sync it together. But it's its own Wi-Fi hub, so that it immediately gets you better synchronization. So yeah, you would just connect to its own Wi-Fi hub and go from there. But yeah, like I said, I used it a couple years ago at a conference I was at, and we just kind of demonstrated it. Especially for someone that's trying to do this relatively simply. Now, again, and it could be, like I said, the $1,400 gets you, you would still need to add cameras to that, but that's something where,
Wait,
you
you
know.
just said it gave us 2 cameras.
No, it gave you the ability for 2 cameras, I'm sorry. So you'd need to add cameras to that.
Well, I have 1 camera, I think, and then we have iPhones, right?
Yeah, and
I have a phone. I don't
I
know.
You have an
a
Android.
camera.
Android, yeah.
A
I
smartphone.
have an iPhone.
So, I mean,
Smartphone.
and that's stuff you could potentially accumulate as you go.
But if we
too.
didn't buy them, we could do it with 1 phone and 1 Android.
Yeah.
Or 1 camera and 1 Android.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, realistic, I mean, I haven't even looked at the cost of,
But
cameras,
if all we wanted to buy was that thing,
yes, you could do it with
we could do
strictly.
it on the 22nd with a camera or two phones or whatever.
Yeah,
But we don't need it for this Sunday because we have.
yeah, well,
I
I just texted, I texted Alan, and we'll make sure you have a camera for this, a camera and device for this Sunday.
Okay. So all we need for this Sunday is to meet on Saturday and set up.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, for this Sunday is to meet on Saturday and set up.
We haven't talked about cost. I don't know really what to charge. Right now, like I said, we're all out of work, so whatever we can get sometimes is good. But you know, I'm meeting with Alan tomorrow. Alan and another guy, and we're just kind of going to go over. Well, all right, what's the value of some of these things and stuff like that. But you know, certainly we'll figure something out for this week at the very least. And again, I'm perfectly willing to, moving forward, you know, you guys getting your own equipment, certainly helping you get it set up and setting up, okay, you know, kind of like phone support type of thing, you guys, and I can be really reasonable since it's not that much action, you know, to say, okay, yeah, you have a problem, give me a call. And also setting stuff up, and frankly, a lot of this stuff could be done, the production stuff needs to happen with an iPad, but the YouTube stuff can happen with a Chromebook. You know, I mean, the only reason I didn't use a Chromebook right now is because my Chromebook, I don't have an Ethernet connection to the Chromebook, and I didn't have my Wi-Fi set up. So
So a Chromebook is what?
my Chromebook was $400.
Does
and that was
anyone here have a Chromebook? Like,
You can get them for like $200.
do we need
Yes.
a Chromebook?
It's a tablet?
You,
No, it's like
it's a little more than a
laptop,
tablet.
Oh,
but it really just has an operating system, everything else is done in the cloud.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah. And the reason you want that is so you can monitor the YouTube stream. But you could do that on a phone if you wanted to.
So if we can do it on a phone or an iPad, then why do we get a Chromebook? That's what I'm wondering. Like,
An iPad would be better than a phone. And the other part of that is that aspect of it doesn't need to be set up. You could use a different one every week.
So I have this iPad that's currently not being used, so I'm willing to
I have an
put
iPad.
that on long-term, but, you know, mine is not, you know,
Right.
there's like nothing on it. or,
Yes.
You know, I don't use it. So, you know, I'm willing to devote that to this purpose for the duration at least.
Is that
Yeah.
here?
It is not here, it's at, you know, it's at my house. but
It's in Pittsburgh.
It isn't, right, it's Pittsburgh as opposed to Chicago.
So if we
right.
bring it on
Right,
Saturday.
exactly, yep.
Well, no, that's not stuff we would need for this week.
That's
We'll bring everything we need for this week.
Right, but maybe if you look at it and say, this is good.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
that's
what you
fine.
need to do,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
where you need to go, maybe.
Like I said, Sling.
Send some links.
I think that, like, you know, the tricky part of what we're doing is this piece right here.
And does that come with,
I'll bring this
Sling.
in. Sling is a replacement for that. Is
Okay.
something similar.
okay. A wireless thing, whereas this is a wired.
Well, no, you'd want to wire Sling also.
Okay,
But again, that's infrastructure stuff that we have time to deal with.
okay.
I mean, we can get things up and running fairly easily with a lot of stuff. So, and then you know, okay, well, once we get this week under our belt, we can figure out, okay, yep, it worked well, we had good response. Some people are providing us some money to do more of this.
So if you hear back from Alan that he's not available?
I already texted him, yes.
Oh,
I
he
know he's
replied?
available, yeah.
He replied,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we're meeting tomorrow to go over expansion of stuff in general, so.
Okay. And do we need to coordinate with him to meet on Saturday? We need to do our calendars to meet here on Saturday?
I will, if I can give you
You
guys
need to wait from
tomorrow.
here.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
we'll figure out what our schedule is for Saturday.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's fairly easy, and you go up from there. And what I kind of see potentially happening with you guys is, okay, we do this Saturday, we'll come in, we'll make sure it all works. You guys see what we're doing, you see what it is, and then you guys can start making decisions about. I mean, you already have a lot of audio stuff available, so that's that part of it. You know, just figuring out how to get a hardwired connection to your board, because that's probably where you would operate it from, because that's where the audio is.
So we're gonna have to use the big system. Can we do this without using the system in the back? If I'm the only musician on a Sunday, I don't operate that backboard. I use this front system. I don't wanna learn how to use that board because I'm
Well,
not.
and remember, it's not the musician, it's the person. I can help train people to do that, anybody to do that.
You'd want somebody on there.
But you'd
Not-
want
not
somebody,
the-
yeah.
So we would need Brian or Paul Cunningham or that group of people.
And I'm sure that they could handle, and again, one of the things we're talking about is moving cameras around. You know,
I'm talking about the audio in the back.
same stuff. What I'm saying is that there's not I don't know a single person that does audio that can't move a camera.
Right, but a person can move a camera and not run the audio.
That's true, yes, yes. The subset is you have audio people within that audio people, you have a set of people that can run the camera, and then a smaller subset that can do the camera and audio. So, I mean, are you guys clear?
It's,
with
yeah,
what
it's
you guys-
much more
I think as
complicated.
clear
It's-
as I
It's much more
can be at
complicated than
this
I
point.
imagined it might be. Because if some people are putting up a phone and doing a service, then it's like, wow, okay, we went from sending.
But
people
you also
phones
said
to-
what they've been doing for 10 years.
Yeah.
Right, but that's them, that's
Right.
them,
Right.
that's them.
And again, some of this also has to do with,
So-
people are putting up a phone and doing a service,
Yeah.
and it's not as positive of an experience as it should be.
But I think you can put up a phone and have a really great service, that's just them. So,
You can't do it on YouTube.
okay,
You'd have to do it on Facebook, until you get 1,000 followers.
okay. Huh.
You could do it on Zoom, but again, Zoom is not.
No, we don't want that, we don't want
Right.
that, no. It's
This
just
is-
like, I'm not interested in learning that board in the back. That's
Yeah.
beyond my capacity,
And,
unfortunately.
and from an audio standpoint, again, you guys
But
have the
I'm
stuff.
totally good at doing that audio from the front on a Sunday morning.
Right.
But that's just
So-
turning on specific mics and then
It-
they.
Yes,
Isn't that
you,
really-
He doesn't like the idea of using that audio system for,
well, what do you
But
have, what's up
implicitly use
there?
the one in the back?
he wants us to use the one in the back.
Well,
No,
what
no,
is
no, I
different?
think-
Aren't they the same thing?
Are they separate systems? Because they're using the same microphones and speakers.
separate systems. He would have us using different mics and putting them through that board.
Okay,
I guess I'd have to see what you guys have up front.
yeah, I don't know, I do not know anything about the audio system.
Right.
We have SM58s and large diaphragm condensers. It just is an easier system to operate. But it's for audio, it's not for recording, it's for projecting.
Well, that doesn't mean we couldn't use that. And I'd be really surprised if it doesn't go through that system. Let me see what you have. Let me stop this first.